Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial from the Apex Predator Billiards Club. My name is Apex Selenium, and in today's video we're going to be looking at learning how to control the cue ball after pocketing the object ball when the cue ball is coming off a couple of cushions. We're going to be looking at playing with center, center high, center low, and of course left and right spin, and examining what the cue ball does before we actually execute the shot. Now the shot that I have set up here is a very common 9-ball shot that of course most of you guys will encounter when you're on the last ball, or in fact any shot at all on the table when you have to pocket the object ball into the corner and you have to move the cue ball around the angles to get into position or to get a specific angle. So of course we're going to be learning a lot of principles, for example the tangent line, what the spin does whenever you are using the tangent line, and so much more. So if this is the first time here on the channel, consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and of course leave me a comment in the comment section below to let me know what you think about the progress and the growth in your game and in my game. So without further ado, let's jump right into the lesson. Alright guys, so the shot that I have set up here is that I have the object ball that is a half a diamond above the center, and I have the cue ball that is in direct line with the contact spot on the object ball, and there's a straight line leading towards the pocket facing of the side pocket here. So of course the objective is to pocket the object ball into the corner and come off 2 rails. But let's examine what happens whenever it is that we are trying to play with center. And so playing the cue ball with center will have the cue ball traveling on what is known as the tangent line. And so the tangent line is the perpendicular distance that is created between the shot line and the cue ball's natural path. So one of the best ways to predict the tangent line is of course creating a T in your mind. Now in the actual game you're not allowed to put your cue on the table like this, but you're allowed to use your cue to do any sort of movement in mid-air. So here, if I were to place my cue on the table here and create some sort of T, what you can see here is that after the cue ball pockets the object ball with center, it will follow this tangent line. So the cue ball is not going to exactly follow this line, the cue leading to this part of the rail here. It's going to have a bit of momentum, so it's going to travel a little bit higher. So the spot on this rail here to which the cue ball is going to contact will be near to the first diamond here. And so the cue ball is going to come 1, and then it's going to come 2 cushion, and it's going to come back into this region here. Right now, depending on the speed, you may be able to get it into the middle of the table, or just the amount of control is what we're focusing on here. So we're going to be executing the first shot here and see what will happen to the cue ball when we play with center. All right, so we go through our entire shot routine, which is of course finding the shot line, finding the line of the shot here, and going down, finding center, focusing, and here you can see the cue ball follows that exact path as predicted, coming into the same vicinity as which you're aiming from. Now we're actually going to play another shot, same position, and so now we're going to be playing with half a tick below center, which is what we know as stun. So since we know that the tangent line, which is a very important line to predict before you play any shot on a pool table, since we know that the tangent line is here, then it's easy to predict where stun or stun follow is going to bring you. So if you play with a half a tip below center, which is stun, it's going to go below this tangent line here. So it's going to come around this region. And so once we get in deep into the corner, it's going to come off a bit sharper. So it's going to come below the natural part of where the cue ball came when we played with center. So here we go, playing half a tip or a tip below center. We should end up in this region here with a little bit of speed. So you can see it almost comes in the same area. However, depending on the amount of stun that you place on the cue ball, then that will determine how sharp you come in off the angles. Let's just replay that shot one more time. Let's see if you can put a bit more stun. Okay, let's play like maybe a tip below center. So just a little bit lower. And you can see that is not completely a full tip below center, but you can see that it goes below the tangent line and it comes in a little bit sharper. All right, so that is what the cue ball does off the angles. So for our third shot, we're going to play with a tip or a half a tip above center. And so the cue ball is going to come, of course, above the tangent line. Remember, the tangent line is at the first diamond here. So if you play half a tip above center, it should catch somewhere here, and it's going to come a little bit long. Okay, so it's going to come here, about here, and come down into this region down here. Okay, so the ability for you to predict the cue ball's path before playing and executing a shot is a powerful weapon that you can have in your game. So here we go, half a tip above center. And you can see it comes off too cushion and it comes a little bit long because you're catching higher above the tangent line. So now what we're going to be doing now is that looking at playing with variances of spin. Okay, and so once you're playing with spin, this will induce what is known as compensation for aiming. So of course, if you're aiming with, in this case, if I'm aiming with right spin, which is inside spin, the cue ball is going to veer off to the left. So that will mean, or that means for me, that aiming with inside spin, I will have to aim a little bit inside of the natural contact spot on the object ball. And if I'm aiming with left spin, then the cue ball is going to be veering off to the right, which means I'm going to have to aim a little bit outside of the contact spot of the object ball. So what will happen now if it is that I play with, say, top left in this case? So with top left, the cue ball is going to follow the line that would have lead if you were playing with top spin. So here is where it's going to catch. The effect of the spin will not take until it comes off the first rail. So with the top left, it's going to follow the line above the tangent, and when the spin takes effect, it's going to catch here and it's going to come in around here. Now the spin will almost follow the line that the tangent takes you, but the spin is going to give the cue ball a bit more speed and it's going to take you further down the table. So let's see how this looks and what the cue ball does. Okay, so I have my contact spot. I know I'm aiming with left spin, so that means the cue ball is going to be veering off to the right, so I'm going to have to aim a little bit outside of that contact spot. Try to ensure that you, or try to make certain that you let your subconscious take over. Try not to put a conscious effort in into trying to use the left spin, just find the contact spot and your subconscious will do the natural calculation. So I find center, I go above center, and then I shift to the right here. My subconscious has calculated where my aim should be. Let's see what the cue ball does. So you can see it catches here, and then the spin took effect here, and then it picked up speed of the second rail, bringing you further down table. All right, guys, so what's going to happen if it is that we play with center spin? In this case here, we're playing with center left. So the cue ball tends to veer off the shooting line a little bit more than when you're playing with top left. So the cue ball is going to follow the tangent line as if you were playing with center, but with the center left spin, the cue ball is going to take here and it's going to come in a bit sharper. It's going to follow the same path, but it's going to, of course, pick up a little bit more speed. So it's almost bringing you to the same area as if you were playing with top left, but it's, of course, following the tangent line direction. You see here? Center, find the contact spot, let your subconscious take over to do the calculation. So you can see it follows the line that the tangent took whenever you played with center the first time. And so you can see that you get a little bit more distance. Earlier when we played with top left, it went around the angles and came and stopped somewhere here. And you can see with that extra lateral spin, it brings you even further down table. Now let's have a look at what will happen if it is that we play with low left. So of course, we know that playing below the center, then the cue ball is going to come in a bit sharper on the angles. And of course, once it hits here, comes here, again the spin will accelerate the cue ball down table, bringing you even further. It's going to come in a bit sharper on the angle. So let's see what the cue ball does here. We have to be careful not to put too much low or too much left spin on the cue ball, because you might end up scratching or end up hitting the jaws here and destroying your positional route. So low, half a tip or tip below center. Apply just the right amount of left spin. Let your subconscious take over to calculate the compensation. And let's see what the cue ball does here. So you can see it's almost doing the same thing as if you were playing with center left, except you're getting even more distance down the table. So before I go on to play the remaining shots, you can see that playing with variances of spin is not going to allow the cue ball to do anything different. You can actually get the same position playing with center, top, low, but adding that extra bit of spin is what will increase the cue ball speed going around the angles. And depending on how far down the table you want to end up, maybe you want to end up high with a steep angle, or you want to end up in between steep and shallow, or you want to end up a little bit shallow on the angle to play position onto your next ball, you will have to be very much aware of how this actually works. So I'm going to play a couple more shots for you here. But since as we have now completed playing with outside spin, let's see what will happen if it is that we play with some inside spin. All right, guys. So playing with inside spin, what's going to happen now? Let's say we are playing with top right in this case, which is inside spin. Once you play with top right, again, the cue ball is still going to follow this line that leads you above the tangent. But with the inside spin, it's going to allow the cue ball to go a little bit longer on the rail here. And so because it's inside spin, it's going to die off a little bit. So here we go, playing the 7. Find center, go above center, go inside spin. We should catch somewhere near to the side pocket. That was a little bit close for comfort. That did not have as much spin as I'd like. You can see that our positional route was destroyed. Usually you catch somewhere here from this angle. So let's try that shot one more time to see if you can get even more spin on the cue ball. Applying spin requires a gentle and finesse stroke. So you don't want to just push through, you want to actually accelerate the cue ball, accelerate the cue through the cue ball so that the spin can take its maximum effect. So here we go. One more try, center, above center, go to the right, let your subconscious take over, smooth stroke. And you can see, catch just above the side pocket here and getting relatively the position that we need. All right, so depending on the shot that you're trying to achieve after pocketing your object ball, then that will determine whether you use inside spin, top, center, or low. We have 2 more shots to play, guy. And so now we're going to be playing with center right. So again, it's going to follow the tangent line, just slightly above the tangent line here, in this region here. Then it's going to take and go a little bit wider. So it's going to go above where we went when we were playing with top spin. So again, you can see before I'm playing the shot, you can see I'm predicting the cue ball's path. And so that will allow me to think less when I'm playing position. So play with center right. It's going to follow the tangent line. It's going to go above the previous spot that we just hit. So around maybe this region here. Remember that the cue ball swerves off to the left a little bit more than usual when you're playing with center. So even more compensation is required for aiming. Well, obviously I did not have as much. Usually if you have maximum left spin, it should catch here and go in this region. But you can actually see that the inside spin actually took effect. I just did not have as much as I would like. But it usually catches around here and come into this region as we have it here. So we're on the final shot here, which is of course low inside spin. All right. And so what's going to happen, guys, is that this is what we call killing English, or this is what we use to kill the cue ball off the side rail, off the end rail, or off the rails. So now the cue ball should catch the short rail and it should die after rebounding. And you can see how that cue ball, even with the speed of how I played the shot, it catch the short rail and it died. All right, so there you have seen it, guys. 9 very powerful shots that you need to know. Now, this principle doesn't just work with this shot. It actually works with a variety or variances of shot. So just for one more example here, I'm going to place the cue ball and I'm going to give it a bit steeper angle. So I'm not here, I'm actually here. All right. And so once you change the angle of the shot, it means that you'll be hitting less of the object ball, or if you increase the angle or lessen the angle, I should say, you're actually decreasing the speed to which the cue ball is going to come off the rails. So here I've added a bit more angle to my shot, but once you play with any of the following spin, you may need to compensate a bit more, but this will actually require you to have more control over the cue ball, because the cue ball will be running around the table. So here I'm going to be pocketing the 5, and I'm going to be trying to play with center, and the cue ball is going to take the same route as if I was here, except I'm hitting less of the object ball, so the cue ball will have a bit more speed coming around the angles. So let's see how this one works. I'm playing with center. Let's see here. And as you can see there, it followed the exact path as if we were having this less of an angle, but because of the thinness of the cut, it had a lot more speed to go around the table. All right, so there you have it, guys. 9 very important shots that you need to go on the table and practice. Cue ball control, cue ball direction, cue ball speed, and understanding the principles of position play. Number 1, always predict where the cue ball will go using the tangent line. From there, you should be able to know if the cue ball will go above, below the tangent line, and what's the angle that the cue ball will come off a couple of cushions or so. All right, so thank you so much all for watching, and be entertained by the cue ball principles and cue ball control of this video. Do take care until next time. This is Apex Selenium signing out. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to turn on your post notification bell to be notified when there are more tutorial sessions. Do take care. Peace.